Thank you so much for being with us today for this incredibly engaging discussion, I hope, with Prime Minister Dritan Abazović of Montenegro. As an alumnus of the university and the program, it's an honor for me to have here the Prime Minister. I'm myself from the Balkans. Montenegro is very close to Albania, where I'm from. And it's interesting to see this kind of perspective, especially from the region, directly from one of the important leaders there. Prime Minister Abazović, as you can all see, he's extremely young, probably the youngest leader in the region and one of the youngest in Europe. And he comes here, he comes in the political scene with a new kind of vision, with a new kind of model, one that is very progressive, very civic in the way it sees the state and the relations in Europe, and one which tries to make a difference by also going beyond the small country of Montenegro, the small region of the Balkans. One of the interesting things about him is that he's an innovative thinker. He's not only a politician, and he comes here as a PhD in political science with a remarkable dissertation in global ethics, one on which the book that he published recently is based on, and on which we will be hearing today. I want to thank you so much, the Prime Minister, for being with us. I want to thank you so much, Colombia, and the entire team for organizing this event, and of course, Professor Beth, who was also my professor. Thank you.
So welcome, Prime Minister. It really is an honor. So for those of you who don't know me, I do direct the program on negotiation and conflict resolution here at Columbia University, and I'm really honored to have the Prime Minister here today to have an interesting conversation. So we will have a conversation for a while, and then we will open it up to questions from the audience. I think you do have cards that you should have received when you checked in, so if there is a burning question that you have, please feel free to write down your question, and then we will collect them, and Akri will lead the Q&A session. Okay, so we'll start out light. Maybe we'll get heavier later, I don't know, but we'll start out light. So just, I know that Montenegro has been independent for maybe 20 years or something like that. So if you can just share with us some of the successes that Montenegro has had since independence and some of the challenges that it's still facing.
Oh, first of all, thank you very much. This is a great pleasure for me personally to be in Columbia University. Thank to Professor Beth and to all which supported this, organizing this event. I really think that we will have the open discussion, so I try to promote some kind of new values in the politics, so any kind of distance is not necessary. We need to be very open and to criticize everything what we think that can be better. Yes, Montenegro is the young country in the getting of independence. It's old European country, but we get independence after the crash of former Yugoslavia in 2006. And in that period, Montenegro was very, very attractive because new country, small country, very peaceful, with good neighborhood policy. Yes, former Yugoslavia have that destiny that dissolution was very bad, with a lot of conflicts, with a lot of wars. But the good thing is that Montenegro, in all this period, didn't have the war in own territory. This was something which is extremely important for us. Yes, our political elite was involved in the dissolution of former Yugoslavia and played, from my point of view, I was the child in that period, negative role. But what can we do? In the end of the day, we get independence, make the state, and try to change our perspective. Our two biggest goals in foreign policy was in that time to be in full membership of NATO and in full membership of EU. Why? For the countries like Montenegro, which are small and which are in the part of the world which is not so peaceful, with a lot of history, and people always talk about the past. I want to talk about the future, but it was very important to have the clear goal to be part of the some clubs of democratic countries. And one big achievement, one big success of Montenegro is that in 2017 we get full membership of the NATO. Now we are the NATO country, and we are very happy because that security issues is for us extremely important. Second goal, which is maybe more important when we talk about the living standard of the people and what we now try to fight in Montenegro, it's to join EU. But to join EU, you need to respect many rules, many norms, and one of the key questions for us is which we're dealing with, one key issue is the rule of law. This is what my government fight for the last 2 years. I was deputy prime minister in previous government. After that, getting the cabinet of the prime minister is to fight against organized crime and corruption and high-level corruption, which is connected with the people which are still in some important position in the country or or lead some important position in the country in the past. So you know the mentality in the Balkans is like that. Producing of nationalism, it's the way how they use that issue to make to have some corrupting activity in another side, and don't leave the ordinary people to move focus from the past. My thesis is that behind of nationalism in the region, in the Western Balkan countries, is corruption. I think that if we fight corruption, we will fight nationalism. Why? Because there are existing political elites which have the wish to keep status quo. They like the status quo. They like to have institutions which are not so professional, which are politicized, which they are under control of some political elites, including judiciary system. And I think that the most important thing is to fight corruption, in high-level corruption and organized crime there. In that way, we will give the new sense and we will give the new value to not only to Montenegro but to another country. We are really proud because in all these periods of independence, we didn't have internal problem. We tried to build really functional multicultural society. Reconciliation is not fully, it's not in the maybe 100%, but it's very high in Montenegro. In comparison with another country in the region, it's much better, and we are really proud of that. But definitely we miss some chance. Some of chance are missed because of this what I say, which is connected with the corruption. Because after we get independence and we start to be very attractive, we have the big chance to involve the serious investment in Montenegro. This is not happening. So in that period, 2007, 2008, before the economical crisis in end of 2008 and 2009, we involved all the investment from the Russian Federation, unclean capital, lot of people which coming to make the money laundering there, and lost the chance to use our potential like a new country to just make the new value in economy, and in that way to support the living standard of the people. After that, what we didn't finish, and it was important, we didn't have the possibility to come to the functional democracy. First time in our history, we changed the government 2 years ago in 30 of August of 2020. First time in history. So first steps of democratic regimes, of democracy values, is to have the simple changes, nothing else. We didn't do that. After crashing of communism, we have for the 30 years one party in the power and almost one leader which controls everything. They have some simulation of democracy with some, small coalition partners giving the possibility to say, "Not, we are not alone. There are some other people involved." But in the real life, it was the control till one party and one person. Finally, 2 years ago, we come to the changes, historical changes. I think we're giving the very big contribution to that, and explain that. That is not any kind of revanchism. This is not the question of revanchism. It's the question that we don't want to see political monopoly or every single person or party in our country. If we want to be the good, positive, and I really believe that Montenegro will play that role, to be positive European story, to be a country which is very good case, if you look like a case, like a positive example for the region to give some positive vibration in concept of changing of the system, I think that we are on right track. It is lot of internal problems which we need to fix. It is lot of way of changing of our mindset, so our behavior should be compatible with that what we politically saying. So everybody in Montenegro will say that want to join EU, but when you start to look or to research how is the behavior of the people, especially of decision making people which are in decision making process, there is totally different. We are a country which is very good to underline for this first like a first answer. We are a country which is very specific because we are dedicated by our constitution like ecological state. So I have speech today in the General Assembly, and I want to underline this because I am more than sure that this will be something which will have every country which write constitution in the next period. So this issue, environmental issue, and protecting our environment, green policy, making green-friendly countries, this will be the future. I think that countries like Montenegro can give a very big impact on that. Yes, it is symbolically, but the pilot project can be really simple, realized in the countries like Montenegro, which are pretty small. We have 600,000 people. So it will be very good to use this positive example. Of course, we need to do more in our behavior, but you should know, for the people which not visit Montenegro yet, that you can drink still you can drink water from our rivers in the north of the country without any kind of restriction. So this is what we want to give to Europe. This is what we want to give this is our window. But to protect that and to make possible that more people know about Montenegro and have the better living standard and keep young people inside the country, not to leave, to emigrate, to go in another countries to find the jobs, we need to really move forward in the promoting of democracy. We cannot promote democracy with the old ideas. Not with the people, when I say new people, I am not saying people new, young by age, but new by ideas. So people which have that baggage from the 90s, have that baggage from the time when was actual dissolution of Yugoslavia and conflict, ethnical, religious conflict there. I think that should not be something what we need to something what I really don't want to see in the future. I think that Montenegro can give another contribution. So we are trust partner to our NATO alliance. I think that we will give our best to be as soon as possible part of the EU, and in that Montenegro can be really say that we are belonging in the western part of the world.
Great, thank you for that answer. So going back to what you were talking about in terms of the status quo and then change, you know that people who like the status quo, that like because they know it's familiar, they have a sense of power there, and as a leader, you're not going to please all the people all the time, maybe some of the people some of the time, and so on. So recently there was a little bit of controversy about you agreeing with a pact with the Serbian Orthodox Church. So I just wanted to understand in the audience to share with them your thinking behind why you decided to do that, knowing that it could be controversial for you and your country and your government.
Yes, true. I thank you for this question, because I think that it's important to share with everyone. So we have a lot of this, let's say, ethnic in the past, a lot of this ethnical national conflicts. Also, we have the conflicts in the concept of religion. We are Orthodox country, dominate Orthodox country, but of course all another religions are represented there. So this question with agreement, basic agreement, we call it that basic agreement with the Serbian Orthodox Church, which is dominant religious group in Montenegro, was open question for 30 years. And when I come to the office, I was unsatisfied because somebody before me didn't finish this. My logic is very simple, extremely simple, and I think that is correct. Everybody, doesn't matter what is the name of religious organization, have equal right. So, if we have basic agreement with Catholic Church, if we have basic agreement with the Muslim community in Montenegro, if we have basic agreement with the Jewish community in Montenegro, we should have basic agreement with Serbian Orthodox Church. This is my logic. I am not from politicians which want to use the church, question of church, to make the division and to divide the society and to use that for the political campaign, for the political percentage, this is not my story, this is not my vision, this is not my concept. I'm trying to promote that Montenegro need to give everybody possibility for reconciliation and to fight, let's say to fight not physically, but in ideas, for the better economical ideas, for the better ideas in the protecting of environment, for the visions, for the business, for the creating. This should be the discussion in public opinion about this kind of topics, not about the church. So I decide to finish this question, to just cut that question once forever. I think that once forever, and I say yes, I will sign the basic agreement. And in Montenegro was the very big discussion: how is possible that somebody who just come to the office want to fix some question which is for decades there, and nobody have enough courage to finish that. From my point of view, this was not a question of courage. This is question of principle. Very simple from my point of view. I don't see nothing. I say, okay, I need the text. I need to see that this, in comparing it's pretty same, 99% same with another religious group. And I say every another religious group, because probably somebody will have the interest to make that kind of agreements tomorrow, Buddhist or I don't know, some another group will have possibility to come to the government, to Ministry of Justice, and make a request for the same thing. So I finish this. I think that this is very important because of relation of Montenegrin and Serbs. We have both ethnical groups there. We have both groups, very big groups. They have the perception that this is different question. I am the prime minister who come and they try to attack me on that because I am not the Orthodox. So why you finish this question? I think that it's much better to finish somebody who is more objective about this, and it's not too emotional, but it's rational. Have some rational approach on that, and we finish that. And we have the two prediction in that period, Professor. That one from the radical side of this former political elites, they say we will have the big protest crashing, we will have the fight on the street, we will have the civil war there if you sign this. And my prediction that we will have nothing. It will be very quiet. It will be okay. Somebody will protest with some kind of statement, but that is okay in every democratic society. And today I am very happy and I am very proud because I can say that I was right. Nothing's happened, no protest, nothing at all. Yes, we need to pay the political price because they don't want to support the government, but in the comparing to promote reconciliation, with that to stay in chair maybe one period more, I will always choose to give the contribution to reconciliation, because the political life will not end. Everybody will have the possibility again to run for some position for that, but these things which are really historical, we need to move from the table. And I am very happy because me, like a prime minister, don't have that on the table anymore, but doesn't matter tomorrow another prime minister of Montenegro, this question will not have on the table. So it will be dedicated to focus in something else. I hope that that focus will be in the progress and in economical topic.
Thank you. So your motivation was really about reconciliation and making it equitable across the religions who have the basic agreements. Okay. So now we get to talk about something really exciting for you, your book, Critique of Global Ethics. So we'd like to know a little bit more about what your thinking was. I think it was based, your dissertation was based on this, right? So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your motivation for looking into this and how this all came about.
Yes, maybe Columbia University is the first place when we coming with the book. This book is translated in English, also in Montenegrin and Albanian language, but the promotion will be in Montenegro. I hope in next 2 or 3 weeks. But that is less important. From my point of view, important is the topic. I always try, I tell the professor before we come here, I just say that this ordinary daily politics make the very negative impact in the mentality of the politician. So it's always important to keep this mental hygiene and to coming back to books, to philosophy, and to see some another perspective. I wrote the book which is connected with the political theory and political philosophy. It's called In Critics of Global Ethics, and it's nothing connected with this daily politics, but it's connected with the ethics of globalization. So book is pretty critical to current contemporary globalization. Speaking about a lot of injustice which is present in the global world, but it's not negative. I don't think that it's only that negative issue, but giving some kind of solution which are promoted by different kind of philosophers around the world. How globalization can be different, how globalization can be in way to promote more justice, more solidarity, and better things. So there are some models there. I will just coming to the end of the book to speak about one chapter, because I don't think that we have time to talk about everything. Is the concept of deglobalization. Deglobalization starting in the U.S. with the former president of U.S. It is the concept that countries starting to think, especially superpower, that we are not so interested what's happened out of our borders. We need to just be concentrate what's happened in our country and to try to help our people, and everything what is out, it's need to be compared with our own interest. If it's interest of our country, we can support or not support, or if it's not, we can just stay behind. But ordinary life just explained that this is not a good concept. Why? We coming in 2020 and started the COVID-19 pandemic. And how we can say that that is only question of our society or our country? How we can say that? So we have virus which we still don't know. We think it's starting from China, different places coming to every places in the world. Everything was shut down. Everything was changed. What it was, especially in my country, I don't know how it was in US. It was a lot of pressure to find the vaccine. We didn't find vaccine for the long time. After that, different kind of countries joined to help us with the vaccine. Turkey, China, Russia, the EU, neighbor countries. Things. This is that in the global world, we cannot think only about ourselves. Everything what's happened here have some kind of impact in another place. Pollution. We can produce pollution here in US, but the effects are not only in US, but everywhere in the world. Now we have new crisis. We have energy crisis, which is produced by two reasons. One reason is the war, aggression of Russia Federation to Ukraine. That is the main reason why we have the energy crisis. But the second reason, it's not less important, that is because climate changes. The hydrological situation all around the Europe, the level of the rivers, level of the lakes, it's in the minimum. This is not because of war. This is because of climate changes. So everybody have the impact. So if we want to see how we want to all together have the better living standard, better living condition, we need to think about the minimum of the ethics which should we provide globally. Like we provide in one moment in UN the Declaration, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, is the same now. I think that it's time to provide the new concept of the some kind of norms which will be acceptable for every country, or the most of the countries, not every country, most of the country. Without that, we will not have possibility to go out of these problems, and we will have situation like we have now. So we going from one crisis to another. So we just finished or already finished this crisis with the COVID-19. We're going to another crisis. We have the war, unpredictable war between two countries, aggression of one country to another, between two countries, which involved everybody. So we don't have Third World War that everybody joined but some countries supporting Ukraine, some countries support Russia. This is not the matter, because the matter is energy. So all this gas, 40% of the gas which is used in EU is Russian gas. Now they putting down that to 9%. Yes, this is true in the percentage, but the price of the gas, it's 10 times bigger than before. So we have the situation that we should understand. If we go deeply in deglobalization, that probably in short time, this is my thesis, in short time can be useful for some of the countries. But in the long term, I think that is not possible to make the good impacts. And I tried with the concept of promoting of some theories to give an argument in that direction. There are some theories about the ethicizing of globalization. There are some theories. I cannot now mention every theories, but there are some theories. Communicative discourse based on religion, tradition, based on nature of human nature, and these are all things which just need to open for the people which will use it or read it. Just needed not to give the final answer to something, just to open some, let's say, new windows of perspective, to think about this question, to understand better these questions, and maybe somebody will come with the clear ideas how we will fix this kind of problem, or can be more productive in the future. Another thing which is connected with UN, but just in the theory, is the decision-making process in this international organization. From my point of view, decision-making process is not so good. I don't want to say that it's bad. It's something which is made a long time ago, and definitely we need to have the faster decision, because in this concept, when we give the possibility that one country block all other countries, it's same with EU for the important question. I think that it will be very hard also in the future to find a solution which are compatible with the political interests of every single country. So we need to go to think about some another options. Options are to have the shaping the opinions, not to make the opinions, but to shaping the opinions to everybody, and to find some kind of, let's say, consensus which is not fully 100%, but 230 or 80% for some questions. Which, if 80% of countries decide something that need to be provided. This is more or less what you can find in this book. I don't have too much copies. I will leave these copies which I have, but definitely I will use the opportunity that immediately after we have the official presentation in Montenegro, send one contingent of the book, definitely maybe not too big, but to send like a gift to Columbia University, and probably some of you can use.
Thank you. That sounds wonderful. We're looking forward to that. So let's open it up to some questions. We had a conversation before, and the Prime Minister is very eager to hear your questions. and engage in some more dialogue. So has anybody written something on a card that they wanted to pass to Akri? Do you have some? This is your moment.
Oh. You sure? All right. So thank you very much for your talk today. You mentioned that you'd already had this basic agreement with the Orthodox community. Have you already opened up talks at a high level with the leadership of the Muslim community in your country?
Yes, we have basic agreement with the Muslim community from before. That was before I was Prime Minister. Don't have any kind of problem with the Muslim community there, and that is not the political question. The political question there is only question of the Serbian Orthodox Church and Montenegrin Orthodox Church. These are two Orthodox churches which use it in daily politics for creating of some kind of conflicts. I think that we need to stop with that and to finish with the way that we giving the same equal right to every religious group, like every single person. So just if I was not clear in my first answer, I want to underline. I explained to my colleagues, somebody don't want to accept it. Why do they don't want to accept it? Because they want to make the political narrative in that question, because they don't have another ideas. They cannot fight against organized crime of corruption or corruption because they are for many years looking at that and didn't do nothing. So this is the reason. I say, look, the rule of the state, rule of the government, it's not the judge between different religious groups. Only what government need to do, only what is duty of government, it's to respect the law and give the equal rights to everyone. So from my point of view, it's not matter who give the initiatives. What is the name of religious group? We just have the request and proceed the request. This is end of our duty. It's same for the people who are not religious, for the people who are atheist, or for the people who are agnostic. Also, they need to have over rights. This is agreement is based by the law of religious freedom. Law of religious freedom is pretty liberal in Montenegro, pretty liberal. 3-4 persons can make the religious group, can register the religious group, and that's it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Johnny Graydon, I teach here at Columbia, and I totally agree with you. The basic problem in, let's say, transformation is if there's corruption in the past and how to get rid of it. The bad news is, and I have a section on corruption, in fact I taught a class totally on corruption in India, and the joke was, we're doing pretty well without you. So the real question though is, there's only 2 or 3 places in the world that have gotten rid of corruption once it was started. Singapore, Hong Kong, so those are anomalies. So what do you think you need to do or can do, maybe there's 2 questions, on actually getting rid of corruption? Because once it's there, it's a cancer. So the question is, how do you solve it?
Thank you very much, Professor, for your question. This is the you explain everything. So there are two places which combine, which combat, which fight corruption, Singapore and Hong Kong. Especially that was important for Singapore. Singapore made the great country after they fight corruption in the system. The good thing is maybe it's not for comparison, because mentality is different, it's pretty different, and we are in another part of the world, but we are also a country similar with territory like a Singapore. So in the countries which are small with not huge number of population, I think that that kind of things can be realized. So my ambition and my wish, like a prime minister, probably we will not have it that, but not soon, it's to use example of these two countries and to be the third country which will fight corruption and organized crime. What I did in this previous period, and want to share with you, just to know to have the picture what's happened. Two key businesses in Montenegro for which making of induction of corruption there was smuggling of cigarettes and smuggling of cocaine. Smuggling of cigarettes was made by decades. But with our foreign partners, we think that business sits around 500 million euros per year. This is huge for Montenegro, half billion. So you can imagine what's happened for 10 years. So it's made in our main port, one port, which is most important and only port in Montenegro, Port of Bar. And my question was, how 30 years, everybody knows that happened. Everybody knows that happened. Nobody wants to do nothing to stop that. When I come to the office, this was really something which was really irrational for me, and I don't understand this. So international community, we have that in reports for many years. Nothing's happened. So now, with pretty same police, because we cannot take out all our people and bring in people from Germany or from Switzerland or from Portugal to help us. With more or less same customs, with all or less same intelligence. Yes, we make some changes on that, but not huge. We make the huge impact in fighting, especially against smuggling of cigarettes. In the beginning of May, 10 days after I get to the office, we catch 148,000 package of cigarettes, which is in the market around 120 million euros, which is the biggest catches of cigarettes in history of Europe. And only what is changed, just to understand me, it's changed political will. People are more or less the same. Some of them are very angry because of that. Some of them are. I am under the threats and dangers because of that. They fight government because of that. Everything is, but more or less, only what is really changed is the political will. Last year, in the end of August, we catch 1.3 tons of cocaine, which coming from Ecuador. That was the biggest catches of cocaine in history of Balkan, not history in Europe. In Rotterdam was biggest catch, they catch 4 tons. But if you compare the port of Rotterdam and port of Bar, this is something they are two totally different planets. In Rotterdam, they have 5,000 times more operation than Port of Bar. And this, I think that these are the huge things. And after that, just to connect, people which are involved in that, they speak about the church. They just move the focus of the church. They say yes, because they cannot say no, this is not good. They cannot say because of people. But say, this is not so important, it's good, but it's not so important. But Prime Minister Abazović is out of interest of our country because he wants to sign agreement with the church, and they put all media to speak about the church. And my logic was very simple. Move church from the table. We want to speak about smuggling of cigarettes. We want to speak about smuggling of cocaine. We want to speak about the people who are in institution, working that for 30 years and did not write something simple report to say something what's happened there, it's not right. This is I say, okay, move, attack me, but these will be topics in our country. Because for the church, nobody cares about the church anymore. And now we are in that situation. Yes, it is the little bit political confusion in Montenegro. Now we will see what will happen, but definitely I think that you are right that if we want to have the progress, we need to fight these things.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question.
Hi, Prime Minister. My name is Zach. I'm a first-year student in the NECR program. You mentioned that your country is very invested in ecological efforts. What initiatives or plans do you hope to see in Montenegro?
I think that Montenegro can be the very interesting point, very interesting country for some pilot projects. If we have more power, more political power in the government, we will see what will happen after the election. Definitely we need to use possibility to make Montenegro green destination. To make Montenegro green destination, to make the very big public campaign, also campaign outside of country, because we our main sector is tourism, so we have lot of tourists there, a lot of visitors there. So to make Montenegro like a green destination. There are a lot of companies, serious companies, including many American companies, serious multinational companies, which want to invest in some pilot project, green projects. And I think that we need to use this opportunity. Why? Because to make some project in Germany, one project which is not so huge, nobody will recognize, or it will be hard to recognize. To make something even small in Montenegro, everybody will talk about that, and everybody will see that and see how is it functional. So this is one thing to brand our country like a green destination. Second thing is to go deeply, and we will start immediately. I think that we will start also in the next months with the construction, building of the green energy projects. We don't have the solar plants, unfortunately, in Montenegro, and we have one situation which is out of every logic, that during the summer, when we have the lot of sun, we have the cities which have more than 250 sunny days in the year. During the summer, we have the import of electricity power. During this August, when we have this crisis with the prices, because prices are megawatts per megawatts are 12 times bigger than before, we import, not export, import 2 million euros electricity power per day. And this make a big problem in our budget. During the winter, we using the hydro, and we starting to be exporter, and we hope we will have the raining season that we will export and pay all debts and be in the profit. This is dependent by that. But to find this balance, we decided to go deeply in the energy project to make the solar plants and the wind farms around the Montenegro. And also third thing is to promote the solar cities. So we want to give the benefits, to give the opportunity to the ordinary people to start to build the solar plants in the houses, in the roof of the houses, with the support of the government. These are three things which I think that we can realize in the period, let's say, in 1 to 5 years, and which really can change the image of Montenegro like green destination.
I think that's all the time we have right now. So I just want to say thank you very much for a wonderful conversation. Thank you all for coming. Maybe we'll have an opportunity to walk around the campus, so security, get ready to see the campus. I just want to invite my colleague Juan up here because we wanted to give you a copy of our book. So Juan, can you come up here, please?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I look forward to your book.
Yeah, that would be takeaways.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you so much.
now I want to give you a gift, my book.
That's what I was hoping for.
Certainly, I will sign.
I will sign. Oh, thank you so much. It's a great photo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you so much.